the Redskins faced Dallas in the season finale with the division title on the line. Riggins rushed for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He gave everything any player could ever give in that particular game. I remember handing the ball off up the middle and watching John bear out to the right and run up the sidelines like a 60-yard touchdown run. I mean, the safeties had angles on him, and he outran the angles. He was unbelievable in that football game.
John Riggins, 66 yards and a Redskin touchdown.
In the final minutes, Roger Staubach threw 2 touchdown passes. The Redskins lost a playoff spot by a single point.
I mean, after that, I was pretty much defeated. And it looked back on it, and there was a lot of things going on, but to me it was kind of like, well, okay, this is as good as it's going to get.
That defeat was so crushing to him that he walked away. I've got nothing more left in the tank to be able to help this football team win.
At the age of 30, John Riggins retired. He went back home to Kansas.
I have resigned my position of fullback for the above corporation effective 1:00 p.m. Sunday, July 27, 1980. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Signed, John Riggins.
John Riggins sat out the entire 1980 season. The following year, Joe Gibbs was hired as head coach of the Redskins. He went to Kansas to try to convince John to come back.
I meet him at the back door. I've got a Budweiser in each hand. And Joe goes, by the way, this isn't good when you're on a job interview. I would not recommend this to anybody. Meeting the boss with a beer in each hand, but me being me. So, you know, I drank my beer and I drank Joe's, and we sat down and we had breakfast, and then, you know, we discussed a few things.
He leaned across the table and he goes, "You need to get me back there. I'll make you famous." He went just like that, you know. So I'm looking like this, I'm looking at the guy and I go, in my mind I'm going, oh my gosh, this guy's an egomaniac. I'm going to get stuck coaching a nut for 10 years. And honestly, I think in the back of my mind, I said this. I said, I'll get him back. I'll trade him. I get rid of the fruitcake. I'll trade him for a first. This is perfect. And 2 days later, I get a phone call, and it's John. And he goes, "Joe, there's only one thing I want put in my contract." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "A no-trade clause." Now, I tell everybody, somebody up there was looking out after me.
Well, I'll start off by saying I'm bored, I'm broke, and I'm back. Guys are, you know, they're just like they've always been. It's almost like I hadn't been gone. And I'm getting kind of tired of just running up and down the field by myself. But, you know, after laying off this long, as that Wild Mountain Man said, and it better be good.
Gibbs unleashed Riggins. He wasn't a beautiful runner. He was a powerful runner. But his power was beautiful to watch.
I had the perfect angle that every cameraman would die for, to be able to see him go through holes, to see him use his ability, his quickness, his athletic ability. He was just everything you want in a great big running back. You didn't hit John, John hit you. I can't ever recall somebody putting John on his back. That just wasn't going to happen. No one would take John on because it was all shoulder pads, giant thigh pads, and knees. And he was a relentless trainer. I mean, yeah, he ran hard off the field, but he was always the last guy running gassers, trying to get, I'm sure, something out of his system and get himself into shape.
As always, John did it his way.
Called and asked, "Hey, can we work out early tomorrow?" And I said, "Sure, what time?" And he said, "Well, I need to be in a duck blind in Baltimore before the sun comes up." So I said, "How about 3:30? And he said, "Sure." And 3:30 he was there. We had a cup of coffee and turned the music up. And From the beginning to the end, he just went at it and went duck hunting.
After practice, Riggo would herd his offensive linemen into the Redskins' equipment shed.
5 o'clock club was a means for the select few to get together, solve a lot of world's problems over a couple of 12-ounce curls. We even had a president. It was self-anointed. It was John. He called himself El Presidente.
Yeah, it was self-appointed. I was self-appointed with no elections. I fancied myself as that guy, you know. I was the one that kind of, needled everybody. But it was always about fun and games. It wasn't we were in there, mapping out strategies of what we were going to do on Sunday. It was a social hour.
John's the character of the characters that were a part of that football team.
I've been a bad boy.
He's the lead act.
Riggins, John, knucklehead.
John wasn't afraid to buck the establishment. John wasn't afraid to do something out of the ordinary. If the band was playing, John had his own drums that he was beating on.
I do have a drinking problem, but that's only when I'm hanging from the rafters by my knees.
I think that the biggest misconception is that he is a clown, and he's not a clown. He's a showman instead, and he knows intuitively the right thing to do, and yet do it in a colorful way.
Football was never my life. Interesting. The guys, the relationships were my life. I have an ability to be able to relate to damn near everybody, and I've sat beside a sitting president at dinner and, been around vice presidents and been around vice presidents who became presidents. And at the same time, you used to hang out with the equipment guys. I take on all comers, basically.
Here's a bunch of naughty boys and girls. I've got plenty of coal in my bag for everybody.
It wasn't there was anything foreboding about my intentions that I had altered. It was always pure, and it was always in the vein of having fun and making them laugh. So I think that's why it works that way, and that's what I do. That's how I give back.
The fans loved him right back, and in 1982, Riggo gave them everything he had.
Well, they love him here in Washington. Now listen to the crowd as they root for the big fullback.
Yellow 44! Yellow 44! Hey!
After 5 non-winning years in New York and a heartbreaking defeat in Dallas in 1979, the time had finally come for John Riggins.
The stage was being set. Finally, I'm getting the opportunity. The only thing I've really ever wanted outside of getting a paycheck, this is what you play for. An opportunity to get to the Super Bowl.
Riggins had never started in a playoff game before, so he did something he'd never done before. He went to Gibbs and said, "Load the wagon. Give me the ball."
You didn't hear from John Riggins, "Oh, give me the ball, I can make a difference." When John made a statement like that, it's like, oh, let's all sit up in our chairs a little bit and listen, because that means that he's ready to go. Yeah, give him the football.
He went to Joe Gibbs and said, "Coach, I want to carry the ball."
Boom, we fly off the ball. Get into your guy and get him turned a little bit and out of the way, because when Riggo was coming through, he'd take all 3 of you.
In the first round of the playoffs, the Diesel ran for 119 yards, then topped that total the next week against the Vikings.
When everybody else in that playing field is growing weary, that's when Riggins really kills you. That is, once he gets rolling, brother, you better jump on him and wait for some help, or you're going to go for a little ride.
Riggins' final stats that day: 37 carries, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 memorable bow.
So I'm coming off the field, the crowd, there's just this crescendo as it gets louder and louder. And all I could, I just stopped and I thought, well, I should acknowledge this. So I took my helmet off and, and I crossed my arms and I bowed. But it was just that spontaneous moment. It felt like the right thing to do.
He gets a big hand and he makes a big bow. A little showbiz. I don't blame him.
An earlier loss to the Cowboys had made Riggins quit the game. 3 years later, he faced them again. This time, a trip to Super Bowl 17 was at stake.
And Riggins barrels straight ahead and carries 4 or 5 Cowboys with him. Guys going backwards, then you give it to that big fullback right in behind you.
The Diesel rumbled for 140 yards and totaled a record 610 in the 82 postseason.
And to Riggins, dives forward, touchdown, John Riggins. And the Redskins have won it 31-17, and they go to the Super Bowl.
His brother Riggo, he's with us tonight. He's happy, he's jolly, he's by golly. His brother Riggo, he's with us tonight.
We got to the Super Bowl. Junior and I, or Frank and I were together with John, and it was just a moment of knowing that he got to the place he wanted to be.
I wasn't thinking about the Dolphins. I wasn't sitting there going, because I'm a running back. I didn't know what was going to happen on Sunday afternoon, and I love improv. You snap the ball, you give it to me. You guys do whatever you got to do. I'll figure it out. Be in the moment.
Against the NFL's #1 defense, Riggins rushed for a then Super Bowl record, 166 yards, and was named MVP. His moment came in the fourth quarter, with the Redskins trailing and 42 yards of open space in front of him.
We all know what's going to happen. The inevitable is this. I'm going to get the football, and I'm going to either go this way or I'm going to go that way. So you got to, like Dirty Harry. Do you feel lucky today?
Let's go. Goal line, goal line. Eye left, tight wing, 70 chip on white. Ready?
Here comes the Diesel. Here comes the Diesel.
Yellow 41! Yellow 41! Hunt!
There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. 42-yard touchdown run on 4th and a foot. John Riggins has given the Redskins the lead in Super Bowl 17.
It was awesome. It was awesome exactly the way the word was meant to be used. And it was 100% pure exhilaration.
Joe Gibbs, the Hogs, and MVP John Riggins have beaten the Miami Dolphins 27-17.